Now let's look at a couple more real-life applications for how agencies are improving acquisitions through innovation. The Department of Homeland Security has a couple specific examples, and we have a few practitioners from DHS with us here today. Joining us now are representatives from the DHS Procurement Innovation Lab to discuss best practices tested in their lab. Polly Hall is a strategy lead for the PIL, and John Inman is a PIL senior coach. I'm now going to turn it over to Polly and John to talk a little bit about DHS's innovation model.
Thanks for having us today. So John, you ready?
I'm ready. You start us, Polly.
Terrific. The DHS Chief Procurement Officer stood up the Procurement Innovation Lab, or PIL, in March 2015 to support procurement innovation and to foster a culture of risk-taking within the DHS acquisition workforce. The DHS Acquisition Innovation Advocate serves as the PIL project lead, and DHS has also stood up an internal Acquisition Innovation Council across our components. The PIL coaches, encourages, and supports operational procurement teams and shares techniques for their consideration. Different from a red team, all decision-making responsibility and review processes for procurements that run through the PIL remains with the procurement team. Our goal is to continuously develop the DHS acquisition workforce's innovation capabilities from the ground up. The PIL process is intended to provide support to the contracting officer and to build a collaborative team early in the acquisition process. It provides a safe space where the Chief Procurement Officer can offer support to overcome barriers or obstacles and support if failures occur when teams innovate and take calculated risks. As we experiment with new approaches, we also learn from what worked and what did not, and we share these outcomes and best practices primarily through our PIL webinars. Today, we are going to share a few stories with you about how DHS procurement teams have innovated and effectively reduced time to award while increasing the quality of their award decisions. These are anecdotal experiences, but we do believe time to award is reduced by use of the following techniques. John Inman, our PIL senior coach, will first share how down selects can streamline our time to award. John, to you.
Thanks, Polly. For some acquisitions, we know we're going to get a lot of offers, in the dozens or even over 100. Sometimes we simply don't have the resources to evaluate that many offers. We're encouraging contracting officers to consider a down select process. In a down select, we evaluate all offers, maybe dozens, on a few evaluation factors, and then we evaluate only a few offers on the remaining evaluation factors. Here's an example. This was a complex acquisition for Agile software maintenance services with a plan to make 4 awards, each with an estimated value of about $100 million. We used a 3-step process to get down to the 4 awardees. The Step 1 and Step 2 evaluations were based on paper proposals, and Step 3 was an oral presentation. You can see we evaluated 43 offers in Step 1, 26 in Step 2, and 10 in Step 3, with 4 of those 10 selected for award. It was about 4 months from receipt of offers to award. For us, that was fast. But with a down select, we were also able to do oral presentations. And after awards were made, with so many unsuccessful offerers, we did group oral debriefings. We designed a down select approach that fit our acquisition. It worked for us. Polly will share another innovation example, this one from the Transportation Security Administration.
Thanks, John. TSA had a requirement for transformative Agile services, which was awarded as a $63 million competitive task order off of a DHS IDIQ. One innovation focused on streamlining the source selection process. I am going to briefly share some tips that the team identified out of their experiment. Tip number 1, skip individual evaluation documentation. The team did not formally document individual evaluations in formal reports. Instead, the evaluators read the written submissions or listened to oral presentations and took individual notes, and then went straight to consensus and only documented the outcome of the consensus decisions. Tip number 2, use visual aids to ensure consistency. The team focused its evaluation on the key differentiators of the offeror's proposals and used visual aids to ensure the consistency of its evaluation. The image you see now shows an example of a consensus evaluation board, similar to the one the team developed. This board was not used to compare the offerors. It was used to ensure that offerors were evaluated consistently. Tip number 3, agree before documenting. Following consensus, the team briefed their procurement attorney and acquisition reviewers in person on the consensus outcome using the visual aid. After the briefing, the team was able to document the consensus evaluation very easily, using the visual aid to develop the narrative. In fact, the team used the visual aid to brief the source selection authority as well, which facilitated both rigorous discussion and real-time decision-making. This innovation cut weeks off of the typical source selection timeframe. It also reduced to almost zero the amount of rewriting that was needed. The award was made within 90 days from release of the solicitation. John, can you now share an example of how we can effectively use oral presentations or technical demonstrations?
I'd be happy to. For some of our acquisitions, we have found that use of oral presentations or technical challenges is faster and more meaningful than a solely paper-based evaluation. The FAR already tells us that information pertaining to areas such as an offeror's capability, past performance, work plans or approaches, staffing approaches, transition plans, or sample tasks may be suitable for oral presentations. Think about it. If we need information for an evaluation but aren't going to incorporate that information into the resulting contract, why not let the offeror explain it in an oral presentation or show us in a demonstration or a challenge? Here's a real example in support of the E-Verify program used by employers to validate the eligibility of their employees to work in the United States. The product demonstrations were step 2 of a down select, and 3 out of the 15 offers were invited to the product demonstration. When the offeror walked in the door for the product demonstration or technical challenge, it was given a coding exercise. The government evaluators observed the performance of the team, such as for how well do they work together, and then when the offeror left, the government evaluated the code results. How else could the government select the best value offeror in an acquisition such as this, except with an oral presentation or a technical challenge? Again, the team designed their technical challenge approach to fit their acquisition. It worked for them. It worked, in fact, so well they're using the same approach now for their follow-on acquisition. I wish we had more time.
I'm with you, John. But if you want to learn more about DHS procurement innovations, please visit our website.
Thanks, Polly and John, for that look inside the DHS pill.
Thanks
You're
for
welcome.
having us.